Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching the Oilers Rundown, and this is my series preview for the Edmonton Oilers Florida Panthers Stanley Cup Finals. The Oilers and Panthers meeting for the second straight year in the finals. The Panthers, just incredible, their third straight appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals. That's just a level of dominance, a level of consistency that you rarely see in the National Hockey League, especially nowadays. It's so hard for teams to repeat. The Oilers just had a level of dominance we have never seen from this team through this run. After those first two games against the LA Kings in round one, this team just found a way. They just gradually got better each and every game, and obviously that's what you want to see, but it's so hard for a team to do, and that's just why I'm so incredibly proud of this Edmonton Oilers team this year. This is why I think it feels different this year. The run last year was magical. It was amazing. Loved every single second of it. Taking down LA, taking down Vancouver, especially when things looked pretty rocky against the Vancouver Canucks. Skinner was struggling. Calvin Pickard had to come in, but Skinner found his game, got it going the rest of the way. Very similar story this year, obviously. Two bad games for Stuart Skinner to open up against LA. Calvin Pickard comes in, wins 6 games in a row for the team, gets them on their way, and then Stuart Skinner comes in, and he has been pretty much lights out since returning here for the Edmonton Oilers. And, I mean, who knows how this is going to go. Maybe they need both Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard in the Stanley Cup Finals. With the way Stuart Skinner is going right now, I think it's unlikely, but you just never know. But if it does get to that, where the Oilers do need both Skinner and Pickard, I have full confidence that either goalie can turn in a game-winning performance for this team, especially with the incredible defense we've seen all through this run. I mean, this is the best defensive hockey I have ever seen as an Edmonton Oilers fan from this team. The group of guys they've put together, new guys like John Klingberg and Jake Wallman coming in, guys like Troy Stetcher stepping up. We got our best defenseman, Matthias Ekholm, back for Game 5 against Dallas. I mean, it's just been incredible, guys. You guys know it. I know it. As Edmonton Oilers fans, this has been the best hockey that we've ever seen from this team in the modern era, obviously going back to the 5 Stanley Cup championships that preceded this, but we had the 2006 Cup run, last year's Cup run, but this year just feels different. This team feels like it's ready to go all the way. And the Florida Panthers, like I said, their third straight trip to the Stanley Cup Finals, they are definitely going to have something to say about that. But this team is just so incredibly close. The Edmonton Oilers released this video, the Oilers losing Zach Hyman going into Game 5, and just this little clip here. I'll show it to you guys now.
Love you, Hymo.
Yes, baby. Love ya.
Can't wait to see you, pal.
Yeah. Love you, Hype. Love you, buddy.
It's that kind of special bond that shows just how close this team is, and Zach Hyman was the guy following Game 7 last year saying, we got to come back. All the guys have to return here because we're going to be back here trying to win the Stanley Cup for a second year in a row. And obviously, this team has had some departures, some new guys come in. That happens every single year. It's pretty much unavoidable. But the main core of this team did return, supplemented with even stronger pieces. And I don't know, guys. It's a special feeling this year. And I think this team does find a way and capture their 6th Stanley Cup. Going into the Stanley Cup Finals, some notes here. Head coach Chris Knobloch becomes the first coach since 1970 to bring a team to the Stanley Cup Final in each of his first 2 seasons. That coach was Scotty Bowman with the 1968 to 1970 St. Louis Blues. And coincidentally, whose son, Stan, is of course Chris Knobloch's general manager. That pointed out by Jack Michaels there. Oilers insider Bob Stauffer pointing out, following the Oilers' 6-3 victory in Game 5, the Oilers improved to 18-2 in Games 4 through 7 under Chris Knobloch. He makes subtle in-series adjustments, calm, his team plays with poise. We cannot undercut the value that head coach Chris Knobloch has had to this team. Before him, I absolutely loved head coach Jay Woodcroft. I thought he did a fantastic job. I hope Jay can find a job this summer with some team. He deserves to be coaching in the NHL, but Chris Knobloch comes in and he has done an absolutely amazing job. Obviously, led this team to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals. As Bob Stauffer noted, he makes great in-series adjustments. He stays calm and cool behind the bench. He gives this team a poise that they really need. They stay strong in moments where maybe this team in the past loses control, ends up losing a hockey game. I think head coach Chris Knobloch, along with his staff, Mark Stewart, Glenn Gulletson, and the all-important defensive coach Paul Coffey, collectively, they keep this team in the right state of mind to win a lot of hockey games. Sports 1440's Jason Grigor pointing out here, could it happen? Twice in 45 years, teams met back-to-back for the Stanley Cup. In 1983, Gretzky and the Oilers lost to the New York Islanders. In 1984, Gretzky and the Edmonton Oilers beat the New York Islanders. In 2008, Sidney Crosby and the Pittsburgh Penguins lost to Detroit. In 2009, Crosby and Pittsburgh beat Detroit. And in 2024, McDavid and the Oilers lost to the Panthers. In 2025, does the script switch? And I think it does. So this is special, guys. Oilers, Panthers, a repeat of last year. The Oilers with a huge chance for redemption here. Last year, as we know, the Edmonton Oilers not touching the Clarence Campbell Bowl trophy after winning it. But this year, Connor McDavid and the whole team touches it. Connor saying, pretty obvious, I think. We don't touch it last year. We don't win. Touch it this year. Hopefully we win. A lot of people were upset after the Oilers did touch the trophy this year. I mean, you didn't touch it last year. They didn't win, so I'm totally with Connor McDavid and the team here. Try something brand new, and it's all a superstition anyway. I mean, it might not really mean much of anything at the end of the day, but this year just has to be about the Edmonton Oilers trying different things. And like I said, they've got some different pieces here. They've got a pretty much healthy Evander Kane, no Zach Hyman, but a guy like Jeff Skinner can come in. We expect Connor Brown to be ready to go for the Stanley Cup Finals here. Some new defensive weapons and John Klingberg and Jake Wallman, as I mentioned earlier. Matthias Ekholm is good to go. Troy Stetcher is there if the Oilers do need some more depth to come in. Both Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard are healthy and playing great. This has the opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers to be a much different outcome, and I truly believe that it will be this year. Just before I wrap it up here, let's take a look at the schedule for the Stanley Cup Finals. Game 1 and Game 2 will be at Rogers Place on June 4th and June 6th, both starting at 6 p.m. Mountain. Game 3 switches to Florida on June 9th at 6 p.m. Mountain. Then we have a 2-day break. Game 4 on June 12th, once again at 6 p.m. Mountain if necessary. Game 5 will be back at Rogers Place, once again 6 p.m. Mountain on June 14th. Back to Florida June 17th, 6 p.m. Mountain. And Game 7 at Rogers Place, June 20th, 6 p.m. Mountain. So, prediction-wise, I'm going to go Edmonton Oilers in 7 games. I think this one goes the distance here, except this year, the Edmonton Oilers win the Stanley Cup at Rogers Place on home ice in Game 7 over the Florida Panthers. The Oilers have definitely been dominant. They won 4 straight against the LA Kings, took down Vegas and Dallas in 5 games, but the Florida Panthers are a different animal, no pun intended. They've been to the Stanley Cup Finals 3 years in a row. They dismantled teams as well on their way here. They will definitely be the toughest challenge yet for the Edmonton Oilers, and I think this one goes back and forth right to Game 7 once again, but I'm predicting a different outcome. This year, the Edmonton Oilers win it in 7 games. So along the way here, I called the King series, called the Vegas series. I said the Oilers would take down the Stars in 6 games, and that one was 5. I'm off by 1, but I'll see if I can finish 3 for 4 here in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Well, guys, those are my thoughts and predictions for the Stanley Cup Finals. Let me know your thoughts and predictions in the comment section below. If this is your first visit to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and subscribing for all the latest Oilers content. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan.